Recording in
It's a
progress.
big day, not only to review the scrimmage we had this morning, which went really well. We'll get into that here in a second. We'll talk more about that stuff and how certain guys did and things like that. It's really been a good week and a half, getting a lot of guys on the field and um, you know seeing the competitions at the different positions and being able to see the improvement up front take place from when we started fall camp to the first scrimmage to where we are at today, seeing the execution on both sides of the ball, seeing the amount of plays being made, seeing how guys respond. It's really been a really good week and a half here. Not only with what we're doing on the field, but just overall as a program and athletic department, being that we've continued to sell season tickets at an unbelievable rate with the blue collar passes being sold out, 1,000 of them for the first time, which is exciting. The guys are working hard and competing every day to continue to grow so that they can perform to their best for Bronco Nation here in Albertson Stadium. Being that we've sold 3,000 new season tickets since the last time we were able to have people in the stands in 2019. Even Bronco Nation's shown their support and being understanding of the times we're in and what we're working through right now, and the campus releasing COVID protocols for campus and all events here. And, since they released that about a week ago, we've had over $200,000 in sales of tickets. So we appreciate Bronco Nation for being understanding and still wanting to come out and be a part of bringing some chaos to the blue when the time comes. So we appreciate them. Today's scrimmage was extremely competitive on both sides of the ball. I believe this scrimmage was the first time where it really, there were some explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball. There were 9 total, 4 runs this week, 4 runs that accumulated for 60 yards, and 5 pass plays that accumulated for 137 yards. And not only did we have some explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball, but the defense responded at times too, and bowing up and holding to a field goal in the red zone. One time they got a takeaway after an explosive play. So it was awesome to see the defense respond in that way. It was awesome to see the offense respond. We got a bunch of situational work, all, from being backed up all the way down to the goal line today and everywhere in between, and the growth and how the players and the coaches are handling those situations. It was fun. It was fun out there today to get the work in. The offense did win the line of scrimmage today. They ran the ball as best they have in a live situation, and that was awesome to see. We were able to get movement up front and reestablish the line of scrimmage. The running backs ran really well. On the other side now, the defense responded late and did a good job improving how they were playing at the line of scrimmage. They caused a fumble today in the run game as well, which was good to see. We're improving our ability to take the ball away. We had 4 takeaways today, as well as a blocked field goal. So 5 altogether for how we keep track for our scrimmages. The offense improved their ability to win and be efficient on first down. And with that, they were able to extend drives. We had multiple drives today. They were up around 10 plays per drive. And so that was awesome to be able to see. Again, some of those the offense was able to finish, and some of those the defense responded really well and got themselves off the field. The topic of conversation that I'm sure everybody wants to talk about, and we're really excited about the way both the quarterbacks have competed through camp. Needless to say, how they lead off the field, which we've stressed as a focal point in how they're growing in terms of their leadership and how they model the standard and how they bring guys with them and how they put confidence in the guys off the field so that they can do it on the field. It's night and day from the spring. Their play on the field, both Jack and Hank, their play on the field in terms of the pre-snap operation. We're always stressing how we start, not only how we start the day, how we start practice, how we start every play. And they've both tremendously improved with their ability to operate and handle the offense in the pre-snap. Not only that, but also make the decisions in the pre-snap that comes along with playing in this offense, whether that be protections, whether that be run game. And it was really fun to see them operate today and get us in situations that were favorable, which contributed to us being able to be more efficient on first down, for us to be able to be more efficient up and down the field and create more explosive plays. We said that this week was going to be a week of separation at multiple positions just to see how guys respond. It's the middle of camp. People are mentally, physically tired, and we're going to see who can really compete and be consistent. And we feel like both these quarterbacks, they really battled it out this week. Jack was able to get back on the field, and he started slow back on the field with just 7-on-7, and through the week progressed into team periods. And by today, he was running around and extending plays with his legs and moving the offense up and down the field. At the end of the day, the consistency of which Hank has played over the course of this week, and really the last 2-3 days and into this scrimmage, we wanted to give Jack the opportunity to come back and get in practice, because he has been tremendous. He started camp out very, very strong. And as I told you guys, he went on the shelf for a couple days. But Hank was a more consistent quarterback through the course of this week. And in this scrimmage, Hank moved the offense up and down the field today with either the first team and or the second team. Was extremely efficient in his decision-making, both in the pre-snap and again, getting us into the right protections, the right run plays. And the biggest improvement that goes along with it is his final decision-making, keeping himself on time within the progressions and that final decision. And how consistent he's been with that has allowed him to operate very efficiently, get the ball to all players in the offense, and in turn was able to, here in the last couple of days, really move the offense up and down the field. And so as we move forward and we start into opponent prep for our first game, Hank will be running with the ones and Jack will be running with the twos. We feel very strong about Jack's ability to lead the offense, to be able to get into a game and be able to operate and lead us to victory. Both these guys, they're not even the same player they were in the spring, from which most of you guys were able to see in the spring game. It's not even comparable. It's not even worth talking about. They've both grown and improved so much. And, we got the young buck in Taylon Green as well, who's done a tremendous job that we're extremely excited about. With that being said, we'll open it up for questions and proceed.
Go Jay, BJ, Ron to start us off.
I guess just to clarify, Andy, is Hank Bachmeier your starting quarterback then?
Hank Bachmeier is running with the ones. Yes, he is.
Okay. You talked about this competition. We talked with Tim about it. You've been highly complimentary of both of their development and improvement. What went into the final decision, I guess? I know that you kind of broke it down, and how did Jack take the news that he'll be running with the twos?
Yeah, the final decision is really, and that's why I believe someone asked last week, has Jack had enough time? And Jack did so well coming into the first couple practices that it was important to make sure that we had a good plan for Jack to get on the field and for Jack to be able to continue to compete, because he had done such a good job and was, again, night and day. And so ultimately the ability to whoever was more consistent in operating the pre-snap and being able to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and again, to be able to execute with the final decision-making more consistently. And that was a huge part of it. Again, we can't even get to that part if we can't lead off the field. We can't model what the expectation is and help bring guys along with us. And, that's an area where both guys, our players feel comfortable with them. They obviously both need to continue to grow. But that's really where the final decision came down.
Yeah. You said this last week was separation week, and so much is focused on what has been going on at quarterback. But what were some of the other places that you had a desire to see some separation at?
Well, the tight end position. We got guys competing there, and I'll tell you that position's developed a ton too. As we stay on the offensive side of the ball and talk about them and what Riley Smith has done. Riley Smith was a quarterback a couple years ago, and what he's turned his body into and the type of tight end he's becoming that can block on the edge of the line of scrimmage, a pass catching threat, the mentality he plays with. It was pretty cool to see him snap off a sled and break a sled the other day at practice. It was pretty cool that we showed that clip in our team meeting and how he's developed, as well as Tyler Gurin and how he's come along, and Ty Neal and Kurt, who's joined the team, and really excited and proud of. We feel great about those four guys and their improvement, and how the younger guys are coming along as well. And so being able to build roles for that tight end position and put them in positions where they can be successful with the things that they do well has been awesome to see. At the tailback position, we feel watching them today. I mean, we got five guys that can run the rock now, and the O-line, we're moving people off the line of scrimmage, and it's all the way from obviously George's. From what people have seen in games and stuff like that, been the most productive. Cyrus, obviously, in addition to the team and doing a great job. Andrew Van Buren had a great day today, running the ball. He's learning how to run behind his pads, being a bigger back, and the physicality and how he can impose his will on tacklers and on a defense as he grows into that role. And it's fun to see. Tyler Crow has done a nice job in all phases, pass protection, special teams, as we've been through camp. Danny Smith now has been a punishing runner against the defense. And so a guy that actually got to jump in there today, Taquan Tyler, got some action today, guys. First time jumping in there and really getting significant reps. And he rattled one off for about 23 yards today. He hit the edge, bursted out, had a couple nice runs. That was exciting for him to see a guy coming off an injury, and seeing him progress to where he was today. And you muted yourself.
Looks like you guys won best uniforms in the Mountain West. Deal they were holding, they just tweeted that out. And Andy, when it comes to quarterbacks, obviously, this was a big decision, and it's your first time kind of in this role making that decision. What did you kind of learn as you progressed in the importance of identifying this specific leader for your team and your offense?
Well, number one is just, identifying what and laying it out there, defining what it is that the competition is going to be evaluated on, and being consistent. And the competition was about now. I know, we got a new offensive coordinator. We got a new offense. This is a new year. Yes, what people have done in the past, but more so, what are people doing right now? Where have we grown since the spring? How are we operating? What's the consistency like? And so, we made that very clear that this competition is based off of how people are performing right now in all the areas. And it's, for me, like with all decisions, it's a group decision, and being able to have constant communication with the offense and obviously Coach Plow about how we're progressing and what we're doing and where we're at, and being consistent with what we're looking for, and providing opportunities in terms of, those guys getting to both work with the first group, the second group, being able that we chart, what situations are they operating with the first group, the second group, how did they perform in situations, whether it be field situations, clock situations, down and distance situations, how are they responding to what the defense is giving them? Are they making the same mistake twice? or are we making new ones? All that stuff.
Hey, Andy, is there a chance of like a package for Jack, or is it pretty much he's, number two, or how do you look at, handling Jack's role moving forward as the backup?
Yeah. So, I mean, like we said, we feel very confident, if with either one of these guys, that we feel very confident that they can lead this team. As we move forward, we obviously got to focus on continuing the consistency of the offense and moving in the right direction in terms of being able to handle our pre-snap identifications and the consistency of which we work. So Jack is going to be heavily involved in the prep. Obviously, the second quarterback always is. And we will work forward from there and continue to help Jack grow as a competitor. Obviously, this is, it was a hard conversation, not only for him, but for us, because of how well Jack has done and how much he's grown and how much we care about him. And we want to continue to see him not only grow, but have fun doing it. And you can see how much joy he was having out there competing and doing what he was doing. And so we look forward to having him involved. Yeah, as of right now, we have not started on any kind of game plan for UCF. All we have is our preseason scouting. And so as we move into it, we will know more.
You mentioned last week Tyrick LaBeouf and Markel Reed were working mostly with the ones. Are those two your starters at corner moving forward?
Yeah, those guys have been the most consistent at corner. They will be the starters moving forward. And we feel good about our two deep, and even being able to get a couple guys back that have been a little bit limited lately. And we feel like we've been able to build some solid depth there.
We've heard so much about Ben Dooley on the offensive line. Is he safe to say he's your right tackle too? Yeah,
he is. He has done a solid job. We got to work to be consistent every single day. What he did today was impressive. He rose to the challenge today. This is the week where people are going to separate themselves, and he had a battle this week. We've been able to get Uzo some reps over there on that side as well. Uzo overall, has been one of the most improved players, regardless of the position, since spring ball. And so we feel really comfortable with his ability to contribute and be able to play as well. But as we move into the week, Ben Dooley will get the majority of the one reps.
Thanks, Andy.
So, Coach, talking about Hank, where have you seen him grow the most since spring ball?
His responsibilities in the pre-snap. Ron, it's different. It's a different offense than what he's played in. And now he's really got a great understanding of protections and pre-snap identification of defensive fronts. That's something he hasn't had to do a lot of before. And so not only the motions and things like that happen before the snap, but having to set protections, that's a lot. But now as he's gotten more and more reps and understands, he can get us into some really, really good situations, being able to adjust the last second. And again, whether that's in protections or in the run game, if we got a bad run look, he has the ability to adjust us and get us out of it into a better run look. And he's done a really good job with that again this week, and did a really good job today with that in live situations.
And sticking with the quarterbacks, we've heard a lot about how much Taylor Green has grown in the playbook in the last couple months. What are the chances we see him on the field this year?
Yeah, it's a long season, so you never know. What are the chances? I can't tell you what a chance or a percentage, but he's done some really good things. Now, he hasn't had as much time within the pocket, and to take as many snaps in the drop back game and things like that as Jack and Hank. But again, I think we spoke about it last week in the springtime for obvious reasons. Him just getting here in January, and being a freshman, it was really difficult for him to operate in the pre-snap. Now he can run the offense. It's just it's going to take reps and time, but He may be the fastest guy on the team. I mean, that would be a serious argument in the locker room, is whoever is the fastest guy usually is. But he may be the fastest guy on the team, and he's got an extremely strong arm and is very talented. And most importantly, his care factor in how he prepares and how he works is really, really good.
You know, whether it's running decks or showing clips of great moments from Bronco history, it's obvious that tradition and the history of Boise State is really important to you. Why is it so important to pass down that tradition to the next generation of players?
Well, number one, I mean, it's made us who we are. It's made us who we are. It's helped make who we are. It's helped make this university who it is, this city. It's helped make countless people who they are. And knowing our traditions and understanding our traditions and how we grow those traditions and how we add on and continue the legacy of our traditions, that's the responsibility that we get, you know, being a part of this currently.
And running decks is a tradition that predates you as a player here. I'm curious, what do you remember about tackling that monster, especially for the first time as a freshman?
Running those decks is some of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. Now it's a little bit different now that I'm about 30 pounds lighter running them now. But, Thursday was today, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday was probably our hardest practice because it was the third one in a row. And we're in the middle of camp. It was the most demanding based off of where we're at in camp. And for us to be able to go out there and fight through and then come back and respond the way we did and scrimmage today, we can attribute those things to our mental and physical prep within our traditions, like running decks.
And this might be a dumb question, but it's something that's easy to assume.
There's never a dumb question.
when you say running decks, it's just the bleachers in the uppermost section of the stadium, right?
It's the metal seats and the upper decks. It is not the stairs.
Yeah.
Gets confused sometimes, so that is not a dumb question, and there is a huge difference, especially for a guy like me that doesn't have very long legs. A guy like Taylor Green, those decks aren't very far apart. He can go up them pretty fast. But you can imagine what that's like for a 305, 310-pound offensive lineman, even with their height and their length to go up. Those things are steep. And again, we're not running the steps. We're running the bleachers, and we want to make it up those things in a certain time. We're not about, crawling up those things. We want to explode and we want to play fast. And so that's how we attack those, and we get back down in a certain time. When we line it up, we rack it up, and we go again like we're going to run another play.
Thanks, Coach.
Bob, go ahead.
Coach, dependable depth has been something you've talked about this whole camp and in spring as well. You've got up the middle of your defense, your two linebackers, your nickel, and your safety. You've got some guys that have played a lot, but where do you see as your dependable depth coming in those positions?
Yeah, so obviously it always starts up front with with the two D tackles, Scotty and Scale. I mean, those guys. Scott's been extremely consistent throughout camp. There's obviously things I'm sure he can continue to work on that will be a focal point as we prep. But, just continuing to build that consistency with Scale, who's extremely talented and, like we spoke about before, who's done a great job to improve his body and his ability to change direction, his explosiveness and those things, and just building the consistency with it. Jackson Cravens has been a guy that has emerged in the middle there and has done a really good job. Mike Callahan is playing in there and has done a really good job. And we'll continue to rep those guys as well as Divine, and so we got a few younger guys that we want to continue to grow and, playing inside there, it takes some time. It's a different world in there. At the linebacker position, the two starters have obviously played a ton with Zeke and Riley. DJ Schramm has had a nice camp playing some Mike linebacker behind Zeke. B Hawk has played the will position and has done a nice job there. And so those guys being able to provide some depth to the other guys and being able to get them in the game if drives go long and being able to get them in the game. And they obviously will have a huge role on special teams. And then the safety position you asked me about as well, Bob.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we, behind JL and Ty Jones, we've got some young players behind there on the boundary side. Tubes has done a really good job getting in there. He's a physical player, and JC has done a really good job too. A younger guy that is figuring it out. The older guys are doing a really good job helping the coaches lead these guys and develop them as well. To the field, Shea Oladipo's, a true that came in early that has made, made some strides. And so he'll provide some depth there with Rodney backing up Kekala.
And as you head into week plus left to go, your first camp as a head coach, what are you most pleased with so far?
You know what? How the guys have, again, although it's camp, it's the dog days of summer, right? The guys have responded, and they're getting to understand that it's just not about repping fundamentals, techniques, schemes, situations. It's about repping how we respond. And that starts every morning with how we wake up and how we come, and how we work to grow ourselves and impact this environment and grow this environment. Our guys have been intentional when we get on the field about getting better, and that is going to have to continue for us to grow to where we want to be and where we're capable of being.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, we'll have time for one more from you if you want, if you've got some.
Hey, Andy, you mentioned you had 9 explosive plays today, 4 of which were long runs. How impressive has your offensive line been?
Again, in the live situation today was their best outing. And, we really asked them to really hone in on certain things that are going to help them improve. Number one, by working together in the pre-snap and making sure we're on the same page. And, we get multiple looks from the defense. And so we've got to be able to communicate and identify what we're doing. And then from there, being able to be consistent with our pad level, which starts with our eyes and where we're targeting, and being able to play with some great hand leverage. And we got to continue to grow at that. But, we asked them to be more consistent from day to day. We've had practices where we've done really well. We've had practices where we haven't. And so our goal now is to continue to stack days with consistency and start to eliminate those days where our fundamentals, or even starting before that, our communication is off and our fundamentals are off. And so it was great to see them come out there today and be able to compete up front. And then the running backs, again, have done a nice job. And in terms of being patient, having great vision, and when they make their decision, it is all about running behind those pads. And that is the main emphasis, along with the ball security with those running backs.
Andy, I appreciate the time today. We'll let you get out of here. We got more to do, so appreciate you.
Well, thanks, guys. Again, hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll keep pushing forward. We'll see you guys back out here soon. Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
All right.
Andy.
Have a great one.
Recording stopped.
Guys, files are coming soon. Making sure we're clear. I know I messed up the time of the first one for tomorrow, but it's 4:00 tomorrow for all the transfers, 4 to 5, 15 minutes each. So you should have received an updated Zoom invite. And then, I don't know, Joe, are you still on? If you want the guys, anything for you?
Craig, any chance at Bachmeier too?
What's that?
Any chance at Bachmeier soon?
I have no idea. That's all. That's still all Joe. So just shoot Joe. I was trying to see if he was still on here, but I think he's gone. I'll hit him up right now though and tell him you asked, because I don't see him. So, all right, guys, I'll send you the files here shortly. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
I'll see most of you tomorrow.